a lot of us always think, okay, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I think it was Lord Kabir who said, कि वो बैलगाड़ी के नीचे कुत्ता चले तो कुत्ता thinks कि he is pulling the whole cart, you see. So that is the हालत of fellows like me, कि हम सोचते हैं कि I'm conducting it and this and that and the other. No, it is he who does everything. That is why it is said कि उनकी मर्जी के बगैर एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिल सकता. And that, my dear friends, is a fact. There is no denying on it. Anybody who wants to challenge this and X mark, he can experience it for himself. Coming down to the brass tacks for this meeting today, first thing is we are thinking of about the Glow magazine. We are thinking of handing over the entire operation to Bangalore. There's a lady called Geeta who's very dedicated, and she, at least from next year onwards, she would like to get the subscriptions there directly with proper address so that she can mail out the copies to your individual residences. Today, we've also got Mr. Bikhu Sethna and his wife Rati lined up for conversation. And then, of course, our one and only Mr. Mehernosh Mehta, he will take over with our wise crow Capricorn Pari. She can also pipe in whenever she wants to. And that's how the meeting will roll on as per his wish. Now I'd like Bikhu and Rati to please unmute their mic and start. Thank you. Chalo Baji, please unmute your mic. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. हाँ जी
जय बाबा to all.
जय
मेहर बाबा
की जय.
I came to Baba in the year 1987 and I was there up till end of 1991, and then there was a gap of 14 years. After 14 years again I joined Baba in the year 2007. I will tell you the story behind this gap of 14 years. But before that, I would like to start with how I start my day. I start my day by doing this prayer. All is well and beautiful. Thank you, Baba, for everything. I love you, Baba. Then I do this beloved God's prayer. Now, some of you must be wondering why I say all is well and beautiful. So there's a very beautiful quote of Baba. It says, under all illusory circumstances, always say, all is well and beautiful, that will please me. So when I read this quote, I said the best way to please Baba is to remain happy and cheerful under all circumstances. But Baba says, except God, everything else is illusion. So why not to remain happy and cheerful under all circumstances? It's very easy to say, but difficult to do. But still I try, and most of the time I am successful also. Because Baba never liked the garlic faces and all that. And everyone knows. He always wanted people to remain happy and cheerful. Now, if I am suffering, I can't blame anyone. Am I audible?
Haji. Go ahead.
If I am suffering, I am to be blamed. I can't blame anyone else for my suffering. Balance out my karma. So I can't blame anyone if anything happens wrong to me. Instead of and why me, poor me. I don't blame anyone for this because now I understood. If I am suffering, I am to be blamed and I can't blame anyone else because this experience was necessary for my growth. So I take it as His will. Now, many times people argue okay, what is free will and what is God's will. I always say, uh, I always say, that when Baba says that my will is law, my will is law of karma. So, will is law of karma. So, whatever happens, happens for his will because that is his will. That law of karma is his will. So, whatever happens, happens for as per the law of karma. So, we can't say that there are free will. People can say that there is a free will and there is God's will. But I believe that there is only one will and that will is law of karma. That is the only will. Which Baba says, my will is law, my wish governs the law, and my law is now, actually, I came to Baba in the year 1987 to a friend of mine. And luckily it was Sunday, so this satsang program was going on. And people were singing, and then someone came and spoke. Some speaker came and he spoke something. And then afterwards, at the time of Rati, I was new, first time I was attending, so I have come, but I don't know how he came to know that I am a first timer. So he came and he gave me the book, the Rati book, and he said, here you also join. This is how after I came to know, he started converting and all that. Then after that, I don't know what happened, but there was some attraction, so I started visiting center even in odd days after my duty was also I used to go and I used to go to Bombay center, and there at that time Arafta Katrak was the president. He daily used to come at 5:30 and he used to open the center, and with him he always used to call for chai and all, like how Rati is having chai. So he also, every time he used to ask if you have tea, and then I said yes, and he never allowed anyone to pay. Except he was the only person who was paying for the tea, he never allowed anyone else to pay. And on Monday, when Mr. Lilimura used to come, Sam, if you remember, he only used to come on Monday from Parel Tank Road to Wadiabad. They both were Arafta Katrak and this Mr. Lilimura were working in Central Bank of India, so they knew each other very well. And I also used to join them. Then you also used to come there, and Mr. Raj Dinani also used to come there. And that's how I started going to Bombay Center. But unfortunately, at that time, there was no Baba book reading session or anything else was going on. Only just इधर उधर की बातें होती थी और कुछ बाबा की बातें होती थी और कुछ नहीं, जैसे चाय बाई की और फिर बाबा की आरती की स्थापना की और हम लोग चल जाते थे. So happened that I think so it was in 87 only that Pune Center was celebrating 25 years. And Arafta told me, would you like to join us? We are going there. I said, oh, can you also come along with me? So this is for the first time I went to Pune Center for that 25 years celebration. And they had made arrangements and everything. And I went along with Arafta and Rosa was also with me. And one together also, which we went together, we came together. I remember Nozar and Arafta Katrak was very much with us. And it was a nice program of 2 days, I suppose. And there we visited Bindraud also. He took me to. We visited Bindraud also and all other places where Baba had visited in Pune. Now, for the first time I went to Mehernosh, that was in the year 1989. And at that time, Mira had just dropped her body, so I was not able to see her. But rest of of the mandali who were present, I met them. They were so kind, as if I know them since years. They actually, everybody was given Alingan and they were talking with everyone. So I was the first timer. I did not know how to, what to say and what not to say. But they never make me feel that I have come for the first time or I am a newcomer or something like that. Afterwards, several times I went to Meherabad and Mehta. And I remember last time my last visit to Meherabad was in the year 1991, the month of September, end of September and beginning of October. Remember, Sam, we went, you, I, Meher, Nozer, and this Emila, and we all went to by this passenger train to Pune, and from Pune we went to Panchgani, and from Panchgani we came back to Pune, we stayed in Pune's and then from there we went to Meherabad and Mehta, if you recollect. Then now you will ask me, okay, what happened after 91? Why did I stop going to Bombay Center and I stopped going to Mehta and Meherabad and all that? Actually, one gentleman, he said, are you a Baba lover? I said, yes, I am a Baba lover. Okay, you call yourself a Baba lover. Do you do what Baba tells you to do? I said, pardon, I don't understand what you are saying. He said, you know how to love God and my wish. Have you read that? I said, I have read. Are you doing accordingly? I am trying. I was very young and I did not understand what to answer, but I said, slowly, if you don't follow his instructions, I mean, if you don't walk on that path, then you are a hypocrite. And Baba hates hypocrite. So I said to myself, it is not my cup of tea. All these people who are coming since years and years, they all must be highly, they must be all on a spiritual path. So it's not my cup of tea. And then I, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know whether it's 14 years of gap was there, I don't know. But I was out of Baba, you can say, for nearly 14 years, and then it so happened. I remember one incident which I would like to narrate when for this. There was a satsang program in Rati's house. He was DCP at that time, and his house was in Bombay. Me.
Hello, Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Who's this?
Hello.
Kindly mute yourself, please. Okay, carry on, Bikhu. Bikhu, unmute yourself. Okay.
So along with, hello.
Yeah, okay.
Seram, I remember Seram. I went because Seram I wanted to go. Actually, I was not very keen, but Seram said to me, please come. Will you please join me? I said, okay, but actually, so we went to Worli. He was staying in Worli. He was at that time Deputy Commissioner of Police. His office was near the cinema. They invited me also. So I said, let's go. Then everything happened. Bhajan happened. This happened. Dinner was served and this and that. Then I wanted to go to you. So when I went in the toilet, I saw Baba's photo in the toilet. And I was shocked. I said, my God, this man is put Baba's photo picture even in toilet. So जो करने को गया तो करना या नहीं करना वो मैं सोच रहा था कि बाद में मैंने आंख बंद करना तो कर दिया टाइप ऑफ मैन इज दिस तो कहीं भी बाबा के पीछे लगा देता है and afterwards I came to know even Bikhu mentioned in Baba keep my photograph in your purse in your everywhere even in toilet also okay when I read that then I got some I was happy कि चलो भाई my what he did was right. Now only one after 14 years I came back. Actually, it so happened that in the year 2007, I was passing through a very rough time. And so one Sunday I was क्या करना है क्या करना है क्या करना है मैं बोला चलो let's go to Meher Baba's center. You won't believe on that day President Aratanji was giving a talk after about the was over. He was giving a talk and he said one very beautiful thing. He said, why this Pachata prayer is given to us? Because he knows it is very difficult to walk on the spiritual path. And we being a human being, we are bound to make mistakes and it is very difficult to really walk on the path. So that's why he has given us the Pachata prayer because he knows that so I said, I was really, if I had heard this 14 years back, then I would have not left only going to Baba. But it was, I feel it is Baba's mercy only.
Hmm.
That thing happened as per his wish only. I take it that way. And then afterwards, I started coming again and again and again. Many ups and downs came to my life and many things happened. But then I said to me, I will stick to Baba only. And then in the year 2009, I went back to Mehernosh. Jimmy Khan was taking by bus, so I went there. And after visiting Mehernosh, I was not very happy because I remember those days when we used to have our lunch and chai and everything, and many Muslim people were present. At that time, hardly like Bikhu was there. Bauji, Meru, and some only Muslim people were left. He was there. That atmosphere was not that. And we went by 10:30, was 4 to you by 12:30. Then I remember at that time, so that Brahmaviji used to come and ring the bell, chai is ready, and then time to give Baba, the time to part and all that. That I was missing at that time. And then one interesting thing I would like to say, in one of the Sunday meetings, I was sitting in second or third row and I was listening to all this bhajan. And to my surprise, Eki Khajotia tells Mehernosh, he is a very good singer. So Mehernosh told me to sing. Actually, I was not at all prepared and my heartbeat started. What to sing? क्या गाऊं क्या मैं बोला क्या गाऊं क्या मैं पता नहीं इसमें करते मैं बोला नहीं of course at that time I never knew a single version of Meher Baba, so I sang a film song only because relate to God only का मधुबन खुशबू देता है सागर सावन ले आई. So I sang that, and then afterwards, some sort of what we call confidence came, and then slowly, but by the grace of Baba, I joined the Bhajan Mandi and I started singing also. Now my wife is also in the Bhajan Mandi. This is my story. If any question is there, anyone wants anything? Hello.
Bikhu, tell us about your sickness and the telephone call and all that, if you don't mind.
Okay, sir. See, in the year 2014, I had a massive attack.
Heart attack.
A massive heart attack. So, actually speaking, so I was not at all sure if this is heart attack or what. I told my wife wife, कि भाई lot of activity is happening, and I tried my best to take solution and this and that, but seeing that activity was not subscribing. So I said, I told her, "Anwada apna kiya. Let's go to hospital." So when I was taken to hospital in the then after taking my to my wife, I was not told anything. He told my doctor told my wife and my daughter that he has passed through heart attack. You will have to admit him in the ICU. They said, okay, you don't need. So I was taken to the ICU, and I don't know what happened. So my doctor comes at 6 o'clock in the morning and tells me, "Rati, would you like to inform anyone, your boss or anyone?" I said, I remember his landline number, but unfortunately his phone is under cable fault. So I doubt I will be able to. I'm in hospital and I'm passing heart attack and all that. So he said, at least tell me number to I will try. You give me the number, I will try. So I said this. So and so now is the number. So she tried and she came back to me and she said, "Daddy, ये तो 11 वक्त में फोन किया, 11 डॉक्टर ने फोन किया, वो तो फोन तो है, आता ही नहीं है, वो टेबल पॉइंट में है." I said, "Leave it, sir." And then I told her, "You do one thing, you go out and you try again. You try again." And I said, "Baba, if you are willing, you will get this message, sir." And you won't believe, when she tried for the 12th time, the phone rang, the message was conveyed, and my boss was also very happy that after so many days the phone is working. But the minute he put down the receiver and then he tried to contact somebody, he put the receiver again to dial someone, the phone was again dead. So only that contact moment, for this purpose only, the phone was working, and then afterwards the phone again went dead. If that phone had not reached in time, I might have died also, because my case was so bad that my doctor, he was screaming to my wife, "You take him out from this hospital, or he will die here." And they were not allowing me, they were not giving discharge for a simple reason. They said we are already the bill is for 60,000 rupees for 3 hours. You first pay the bill and then you can take the discharge. And the doctor is screaming to my wife and this and that. And luckily, my boss, would normally he doesn't go. I don't know what happened to Baba's Karamat. But he came and he said, "What was the matter?" And my wife said, "They are not, discharge दे नहीं रहे हैं, पैसे मांग रहे हैं, ऐसा वैसा." So fortunately, he knew everyone in the hospital. So he said, he came along with one of the fellows. He said, "Go to my house, get checkbook." He said, "I am giving the check right now. You please discharge him immediately." That's how I was taken to Wokar Hospital. And in Wokar Hospital also, when the doctor came, immediately angiography was done immediately after I was shifted at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I was shifted to Wokar Hospital, and when the angiography came, it was done. 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. There were 4 blocks of 70, 80, 90, and 100. And the thing is, I am arguing with my doctor, you don't go for bypass surgery, you do angioplasty. So he says, in your case, angioplasty is not possible. We will have to go for a bypass surgery. I said, okay, what to do? So I was thinking, one day when I was lying on bed, I was thinking 70, 80, 90, 100. So I told Baba, I don't know. I am going for the operation, but I don't know whether I will be alive or not. I will be. But now you have to take one responsibility. In case if anything happens to me, you please take care of my family. Now you are the only person whom I can depend. I said, in the middle of the operation, I don't know what happened. My eyes suddenly opened. They were shocked. So immediately they gave me a strong anesthesia. And then after the operation was done, the doctor name was Hamdule. His name, Dr. Hamdule was a famous surgeon, heart surgeon. So he comes out and he tells my wife, you see, the operation has been done. It is 100% successful. Now it is between him and God. If God wants him to save, then he will be saved. अगर अल्लाह चाहेगे तो बचेगा, नहीं तो फिर वो मर जाएगा. The minute they said all this, they started crying over there. At one place he's saying that the operation is 100% and successful, and the second time if God wants, he will survive. Otherwise, he will want to suffer. So they started crying. Please take it serious. They told me later on that all these things had happened to him. So now when the operation was finished, and then when I came in my consciousness, slightly opened my eyes and I saw one doctor and one nurse was standing opposite me. And behind that, where Baba is standing, long hair and all that, and he's doing like this. And I said, have you been? And I looked at it again. See, like a picture of like Meher Baba is standing and he's doing like this. And now you wanted your responsibilities. Now you take only your responsibility. But you want to give it to me, better you take it now. So this incident and what other incident you were talking about, Sam? Hello?
Yeah, just that only. Anything else you want to say? Let Rati speak now. Rati को बोलने दो कुछ, अगर Rati का कुछ है तो.
Yeah, sure.
हाँ जी, बोलो.
Jai Baba.
जय बाबा.
Was married to Bikhu in the year 1991, and before that, he was a Baba lover. And actually, I did not know anything about Meher Baba first. But I remember there was a leaflet of prayers, beloved Baba's prayers. And once I asked him, and he said, it's Meher Baba. And sometimes I would just read it, which I found it was very nice. And he would go to Baba Center also in the beginning. And I asked him, where are you going? So he said, you will not like that place. And he did not take me. He just take me. And then suddenly he also stopped going there for nearly 14 years. So we just forgot about it. Neither did I ask him much about Meher Baba, or not did he tell me anything more about it. Then I started coming to the center in 2007. I think it was a Thursday when I first came to the center, and Sam was taking his gathering and all, and he said, Rati session, you come and say, you want to say something. So I was not able to say anything. I just said I have come for the first time just through my husband, and I don't have any experience about it. Dhire, I started coming to the center, where I attended Tuesday sessions, Thursdays and Sundays. तो Tuesdays के जो सेशन थे वो मेरे लिए बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट थे. बाबा के जो वर्ड्स थे, that was being read by Cyrus and Soumya and explained very, very, very nicely. And I came to know about Baba, about Baba through Cyrus only, means in his books only. और मुझे पता चला कि बाबा का क्या उन्होंने काम किया है. And I never doubted him. For once also, I accepted him as Baba. I never doubted. And I never challenged him also कि आप मेरे लिए ये करोगे तो ही मैं आपको बाबा अवतार मानूंगी or something like that. Never. And then I really got so much of confidence in him. Now, before coming to Baba also, I was a very shy and a nervous person. But धीरे धीरे बहुत ही change आ गया मुझ में. Everything, and I would get actually before coming to Baba, I would get angry very easy. और किसी ने कुछ उल्टा पुल्टा बोल दिया तो मुझे बहुत जल्दी गुस्सा आ जाता था. कोई कुछ भी बोलता था. धीरे धीरे I had the control over my anger. And this law of karma is very important to understand. हम सब यही सोच के रोते हैं कि अरे भगवान ये मुझे क्या हो गया, ये मेरे साथ ही क्यों हुआ, तो मैंने क्या किया था, किसी का क्या बिगाड़ा था. But understanding law of karma, you will understand everything. You will not get it. You just have to trust Baba 100%. And he doesn't want anything more from us. He just wants that we should love it. And अभी बाबा तो बहुत सारी चीज बोलते हैं करने के लिए, लेकिन हम लोग मामूली इंसान है क्रॉस वर्ल्ड में, तो वो जो भी बोलते हैं वो हमसे तो होता नहीं है. But one thing we can do, that we can try. We can always try our 100%. Whatever we want us to do. Try हमेशा करना चाहिए. जो भी वो बोलते हैं, कहते हैं ये करो वो करो, तो हमें हमेशा ट्राई करना चाहिए. एक ना एक दिन हमसे वो सब जरूर होगा. I would like to share a nice incident of how I was having a fear of phobia of in a plane. And always my family members would tell me कि चलो रति हम लोग जाएंगे, and I would say no Baba, I am very much scared of sitting in a plane. I don't want to go. And my daughter was always saying कि मम्मा हम लोग जाएंगे तो तीनों साथ में ही जाएंगे. Now you have to be confident, and once you have to try, you have to come with us. And I always said कि no Baba, I don't want to come. जिसको जाना है वो जाओ, मैं नहीं आऊंगी प्लेन में. But suddenly one day my sister was going to Goa, and they said, Rati, you have to come and overcome this fear once and for all. It's a short distance, please come. And I also thought, अभी एक बार तो जाना पड़ेगा ये कैसे भी करके. तो फिर मैंने ना जो बाबा का फ्रेम फोटो है, I stood in front of that frame and I said, Baba, please help me to overcome this fear once and for all. Please help me. From the bottom of my heart, I am wishing this. And you will not know, but धीरे धीरे every day, the fear was becoming lesser and lesser. I would not get a thought only that I am supposed to go somewhere by plane. And that fear was not there only. It was so much lessened that when the days came of going, I was so happy and I went happy. And I thanked Baba. Yeah, and I enjoyed also sitting in the plane. And I overcome that fear. This was Baba, 100%. And he has always helped us. He has always helped us. It's only that you should have that faith. And even if you wish something, और वो चीज अगर नहीं होती है, तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. You should not say, बाबा तुमने मुझे मदद नहीं की थी और आपने मुझे मदद नहीं की, तो अरे अब मैं क्या करूं? No problem. It's okay. Somewhere वो हमें ही कुछ ना कुछ कमी होती है. बाबा तो हमेशा से थे, है और वो हमेशा रहेंगे. Then later on, I also started coming to the center regularly. Baba was so kind enough to even give me a chance to sing at the center. Yeah. Then at the Samadhi also, then he also allowed me to work for this drama about everything. But later on, nothing, no fear. I was enjoying everything that I did for. It is he only who gave me a chance, and he only was taken up all the fear from me. So I was very, very happy. I enjoy his singing. I enjoy to work for his drama. And I'm very happy for that. I'm very happy.
Thank you,
What
Rati.
else can I say?
Thank you very much. હવે જરા ભીખુને
अवतार मेहर
बाबा की जय, जरा भीखू को थोड़ा पानी पिलाओ, थोड़ा भीखू को पानी पिलाओ. Yeah, give him some water. Mehernosh, you may take over now. Sir, unmute, handsome. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
And Rati, as per the law of karma, in the next life you will become a pilot. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it was a pleasure listening into both Bikhu Bhai and Rati. I must confess one thing that every Sunday, whenever Bikhu Bhai is not there to sing, I truly miss him because he has a lovely voice. And when we sing on a high pitch note, his is a voice which is most required, and there is no other person to sing on a high pitch note. And then all the pitches get thoroughly confused and we don't know which pitch comes out finally. But so Bikhu Bhai, please keep coming every Sunday whenever the center opens. Keep singing, Rati. You too. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we all miss the center. Thank you very much for that lovely little story that you shared. I will continue from where I had stopped last Thursday.
Mehernosh, 1 minute. I'll mute everybody again, and then you mute yourself. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, Mehernosh, just unmute yourself and continue. Thank you.
I have unmuted myself. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. So I will, of course, last 3 Thursdays, and this is the 4th Thursday that I'm sharing with all of you our own very near and very, very intimate experiences with Avatar Meher Baba. Experiences of my late mother, my own personal experiences, a few thoughts, and most importantly, over the last 2 Thursdays, I was able to take you through my mother's memoirs, which she had penned down in Gujarati 2 years before she went to Avatar Meher Baba, and her experiences, which were so richly described in those memoirs. Of course, again, I shall begin today by laying this disclaimer that whatever we talk, whatever we will share, is only and only for our eternal beloved Avatar Meher Baba. It is not about anybody, nor is it for anybody. It is only about him, his love, his mercy, and his compassion that sustains us all, no matter what, because he alone exists. He alone exists. Let us not ever forget that. Of course, last Thursday, we had completed sharing the memoirs of my mother. And just to recap, the last story that I had shared was about my mother's mother, my grandmother, who was suffering from cancer herself. This was way back in the year 1993. And she was also, of course, suffering from deep rheumatoid arthritis. And my mother writes in her memoirs that my grandmother's suffering was extremely intense. The last few days were very, really bad. And they had to literally make her sleep on a bed of ice just to ensure that, the heat that the dreaded disease had generated in the body could somehow give some sort of relief to my grandmother. And in such a situation, of course, she passed away. And my mother used to often sit and wonder, and where would her mother be? That is my grandmother. In fact, a few years later, my grandfather, that is my mother's father, also passed away as a result of Alzheimer's. But my mother always used to think and wonder, and she writes in her memoirs that where would my grandmother be? And she never really got an answer. We all look for answers in our life. We all look for closures to situations that develop in our lives. The word closure is very, very important. Closure means anything that starts, any experience that starts somewhere for us, it has to end. If it does not, or if we choose to ignore the signs or signals that come to end it, then we continue to dwell in the past. And when we continue to dwell in the past, it is a ripe royal recipe for development of anxiety and depression and all kinds of issues and problems. So in any case, this is something that was going on in Mummy's mind for a long time. She had asked Baba this question on many occasions, but she never got any clear answer. And many years later, almost 15, 16 years later, after grandmother passed away, we were in Meherabad. We had all gone to Meherabad. It was Silence Day time, July, the month of July. Your whole family always goes to Meherabad in July. And Mummy and the wife of our late Hoshang Patel, that is Temi Auntie. Hoshang Patel is Sam's uncle, Sam's father's brother. And so his aunt, Temi Auntie, and my mummy were sitting together on the porch of the Meher Pilgrim Center. And they were just sitting and talking. It was just before lunchtime. And suddenly from nowhere, Alobaji arrived. And Alobaji used to come because I think his birthday was somewhere around Baba's Silence Day. I don't remember the exact date. And Alobaji arrived and he looked at my mother. He looked at Temi Auntie who was sitting next to her. And he asked my mother, "Is she your mother? Is she your mother?" And mom said that, "No, she's not my mother. But she's a family friend. She's an acquaintance." And then my mom said to him that my mother passed away many years ago, and she was suffering very deeply at the time when she passed away. Now, mommy writes in her memoirs that without even looking at anybody, Alobaji turned his face, looked upwards into the sky, and then again looked back at my mother and said, "You need not worry anymore. Baba has taken great care of your mother. Baba has taken full and complete care of her, and you need not worry." And that was the closure that my mother was seeking from inside and constantly questioning and asking Baba. And she writes, of course, that, the level of happiness that I derived after hearing that was indescribable. I felt as if a great burden had gone off my shoulders. And of course, beloved Baba had, in his own way, own time, given an answer. Now, today we have a little time, so I wanted to sort of close this entire conversation that we've been having over the last 3 Thursdays. I, of course, will be sharing with you a few letters that our dear Mani Auntie had written to, one letter to me, one letter to Mummy, which is very interesting. I would also like to share with you my own reflections and my own thoughts on the last 6 or 7 months and this entire last 1 year that I have been through with reference to my mother's illness and then subsequent passing away. And the reflections are more personal reflections. You may say lessons learned from the entire episode. And of course, they are all attributable to beloved Avatar Meher Baba. As I had mentioned in the very first session, and I'll just probably recap a little for all of you, is that Mummy was detected with cancer in June last year. She was operated upon. The doctors said she is absolutely fine. The cancer has been as a very preliminary stage. But then the cancer started rapidly spreading from the month of December. And in the month of November, my dear father, who is sitting right here before me and intently listening to all our conversations, he suddenly one day developed, he couldn't speak nor could he walk. We had to immediately admit him to the hospital. It was an extremely critical situation. He was almost gone. He was admitted in the ICU for almost 15 days. Finally they detected that it was a disease called bacterial meningitis. And in all this confusion, I had to go to Meherabad and perform a play which I had already committed to on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the 1969 Great Darshan program. That program was held in November. And all of this was going on. And when I went to Meherabad and I bowed down to Baba in the Samadhi, and I have this habit of talking to Baba when I put my head either at the Samadhi or on his picture. I converse with him as if two friends are talking to each other. And beloved Baba in his mercy permits me to do that. And I told Baba that, you see, the doctors are saying that father will not be able to come out of this situation. It's almost gone. And Baba, and as I brought my head, as I lifted my head up from the Samadhi marble, I hear a very clear voice from Baba. I am the Lord of the universe. It is I who will decide who will live and for how long. I come from the Samadhi to the pilgrim retreat. I go for the registration. I pick up a little photo of Baba. I love the picture which was kept at the registration desk as a takeaway. I see the message behind. The message is, I am the Lord of the universe, not a leaf quivers without my wish and will. Now, after all of this happened, the drama ended, we came back to Bombay. Father continued to go down, and then when he went down completely from the depths, he came out, and Mummy started going down. The cancer started spreading. It was all in the span of 15-20 days. It was all going on. It was intense. One person came out of the hospital, the other went inside. And I had major job responsibilities. I was going through a very difficult time at my workplace as well. Now you see how the human mind works, and this is what is the reflection which the reason why I narrated this incident is how the human mind works. Like a bloody fool, I was under the impression that what Baba told me in the Samadhi is applicable to my mother. Father, of course, came out, so now father is fine. And mother will also survive. Why does this happen? Because our connections, our karmic connections with each other are so close, and we simply refuse to accept that those connections will have to be severed one day. That the mind starts making meaning out of things that the Lord says. So like a bloody fool, I refused to accept all the signs that were there. Another major sign that Baba gave was the vision that my mother had at night when she saw him, when he told her very clearly that I will take, just 2 months before she passed, and when she knew that the cancer had spread dramatically, the vision that she had in our house, and where Baba told her very clearly that I'm going to take you out of this as quickly as it has all spread. Like a fool, I again took that as another sign that Baba is going to cure her. The problem is that I was making meaning into what Baba says the way I wanted it. And Baba has said this so beautifully that if you want me to want what you want, if you want me to want what you want, it does not work. My simple reflection number one in this entire episode is we are all standing in the queue to end this illusory existence. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second, we are inching forward in that queue. Everybody's time has been destined by him. Why pay so much attention to that? Why worry so much? Why develop so much of anxiety? And when he, in his infinite compassion, gave me clear signals over these 2 episodes, one his clear vision to Mummy, and the second his clear answer to me in his Samadhi, that now I am in charge of this situation. Now you leave it to me. In spite of that, I wanted to do it my way. I interpreted things my way. And I refused to be completely and fully resigned to his will. And those who are able to be resigned to his will are most fortunate. Because that is the first step to surrendering. Baba has said it so beautifully. Love, obedience, and surrenderance are the 3 things that matter as far as he is concerned. Everything else has no meaning. No meaning. Singing his praises and singing his artis and saying his prayers and talking about him and having spiritual discourses, all of that, beloved, Baba says, has no meaning. Love, obedience, surrenderance. And in that first step, in that first journey, I failed. The first step itself, I failed. And yet how compassionate Baba is. That even though we fail, he says, don't worry, wherever you have fallen, lift yourself up, hold my hand, keep walking forward. And I can tell you how he has done that. Throughout that intense period of the last 1 year, 11 months, we were in and out of 3 different hospitals. Plus a lot of other personal problems and work-related issues and all of that. And no matter how wrong I was going, how strongly I was resisting to resign to his will, Baba was holding on to me. If there is anyone, and this is a second reflection. First is to be resigned to his will. The second reflection is, if there is anyone who is our friend, companion, father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, in the truest sense, it is Avatar Meher Baba and nobody else. I have experienced this from the depth of my heart during that period. When the intensity of suffering reaches its zenith, when the suffering reaches its zenith, you realize your only true friend and companion is Baba and nobody else in this world. There are quite a few who are in this meeting who are like, who went out of the way to help us and be with us. And in them I saw beloved Baba. And this reminds me of that beautiful story which Baba himself has said on this subject. And if you permit me, I will narrate that story of our dear Pratap Bhai, which has touched me so deeply. That many years ago, Baba had come to Guru Prasad and had asked the Pune group to prepare a list of all the people who had to be invited before Baba. And the person who prepared the list, somehow for whatever reason, omitted the name of Pratap Bhai. And Pratap Bhai was not invited for the darshan program. Baba had come, everybody was there in Guru Prasad, and Pratap Bhai's name was not there. And he was very hurt. And so he was so hurt that he says he took his bicycle and went to the Mula river, and he just sat over there on the banks of the river, very, very despondent, very disappointed. And in the meanwhile, Baba noticed that Pratap was absent in the gathering and sent someone to fetch Pratap Bhai from his house. So Pratap Bhai was sitting on the banks of the river, and here is beloved Baba sending someone to fetch him. And of course, that person returns back empty-handed because Pratap Bhai had gone. Then Pratap Bhai somehow gathered a little energy and goes back home. And his mother, standing at the gate of the house, says, "Where were you? Baba is looking for you. Baba has sent someone to call you. Go rush to Guru Prasad." So he takes his bicycle, he throws his bicycle outside Guru Prasad and rushes inside, sits next to Baba, and he cries and he cries. And Baba, being the master that he is, Baba says, Baba is asking Pratap, how was your name missed from the list? Pratap Bhai has no answer. Then who prepared the list? So XYZ's name was taken. And Baba says, oh, this person is supposed to be your best friend. And your best friend himself has omitted your name. How can that be? And Pratap Bhai had no answer to that. And Baba kept on needling Pratap by saying, but how can your best friend forget your name? And poor Pratap Bhai says, I couldn't say anything. He just put his head down and he was just sobbing over there. And then Baba told him, remember this, no matter what, I am your only true friend, companion, father, mother, brother, sister. All your close relations and connections in this world will go one day. But I will always be with you. And this is my second reflection. First is surrender and being completely if you are going through a situation where the intensity of the situation is and Baba has sort of ratcheted up the intensity, be resigned to his will. And now I realize that Baba puts us through these extremely difficult situations only for one reason, that if we do not voluntarily resign, he compels us to resign. And you can never win over Meher Baba. All these situations are nothing but designed by the master designer to ensure that you resign to his will. And throughout that situation, you will be going through the most difficult circumstances, very difficult, very challenging things. But he will be there with you, standing with you. And in my own case, if you go back, my very first two dreams of Meher Baba, which came way back in the year 1992-93, Baba had clearly indicated to me at that point in time that don't worry, I am with you. No matter what, I am with you. And even if you are going through the most difficult circumstances, I will be there to be with you. And in spite of that, I continue to worry. In spite of that, I continue to have anxiety. In spite of that, my faith in him is not at all unshakable. And in spite of that, I still remain very weak to be resigned to his will completely. These are my very honest reflections. But the level, the compassion that he has, he continues to put us through these situations so that one day you realize and you understand that the world, that the life that you are living is nothing but a passing shadow. As Mani Auntie told me, which I described last Thursday, this life is like a river. Stand on the bank and watch it go past. If you put your finger into it, the currents will suck you. The third most important reflection is that whenever you are going through a situation of this kind, or any situation of this kind, whenever you call out to Baba from the bottom of your heart, beloved Baba always responds. Always responds. I remember, and I shared this with you all, that when Mummy's cancer had spread so badly, I went to this doctor and that doctor and took opinions. And all of them said nothing can be done. I still remember standing outside the hospital, absolutely helpless, all alone and helpless. I was so helpless that a cry actually went out from the heart. Where are you? Where are you? I need you now. If you don't come now, what is the use in me being with you? And it must have gone from perhaps the deepest depths of one's heart, that within 2 days, he gave that vision to my mother and he clarified everything for her and for us. It is the fool that I am. I did not understand. I refused to understand the vision or the meaning of that vision. But my mother understood. She knew her time was up. She knew her time was up. It was difficult for me to accept that she was going, and I used to sit before her crying and she would console me. It should have been the other way around. But she was ready. She was ready to go. She knew her time had come. Because for her, death or life did not matter as much as Baba mattered to her. and being with Baba mattered to her. Fools like us look at life from birth and death, success and failures, joys and pains, pleasures and pains. For her, life was only Avatar Meher Baba. And just the other day, I think last Thursday, after I had finished sharing the stories, and I was just reflecting on all of this in the evening, late in the evening, I asked Baba this question. I said, Baba, how fortunate mummy was that you gave her so many experiences and so many dreams. In comparison, I haven't got anything much. And the answer was very clear. She deserves it, you don't. Clear. She deserves it, you don't. So, very clear. Very clear. For her, that mattered. And Baba, so he, whenever you call out from the depth of that, this beautiful story. There is this beautiful story with Baba himself. See, when Baba has said it so beautifully that, and I will just read it out. I had taken this. I just kept it for our conversation today. That there was once a government official who sent a messenger to Ahmednagar. Baba was in seclusion, and the messenger gave Adi Kaka a note from a big government minister addressed to Baba. And that minister apparently was going through a lot of problem. And in the note it was written, Beloved Meher Baba, I am suffering very much. I do not know what I should do. I have a high position. I do not lack status or money. But in my family, there is a situation which is very painful for me. It is beyond my power to correct it and restore the happiness which I enjoyed before. So Adi Kaka made the messenger wait, took the note to Baba. Baba listened, heard it out, and he said, now these Baba's words are so beautiful. Tell this messenger who has come on behalf of the official that I do not perform any miracles. मैं कोई चमत्कार नहीं करता हूं, ये बाबा ने बहुत स्पष्ट कहा. I do not change circumstances. मैं परिस्थितियां भी नहीं बदलता हूं. So if I look at my own case, the circumstances were very clear that mummy's life was ending. Like a fool, I refused to accept it. But the circumstances did not change. But what does Baba say going forward? But there is one thing that is certain. My spiritual status is so high, so great, that if any man in any difficulty in any corner of the world, at any time, remembers me with all his heart, then the difficulty is immediately solved. So how was the difficulty in my case solved? He gave the vision to mummy. He made it very clear that the time is up and you are going and I will take you out of this situation. And you will continue to come closer and closer to me. How fortunate can we be? And like a fool, I am sitting and saying, oh, can we save her and can we do this and can we do that? So when Baba's message was given to this minister, to this messenger, that messenger asks Adi K. Irani, sir, what do you mean by remembering Meher Baba with all of one's heart? Please explain. Now Adi Kaka says Baba had not explained the meaning of remembering him with one's heart. How to do it. But he says, I remembered something Baba had said before and I explained it to the messenger in a very beautiful way. I gave him the instance of a man swimming in the water who is about to be eaten by a big fish. He does not know what will happen in the next second. He is so frightened that he almost becomes unconscious. At that moment, he remembers God, he remembers Baba, and he says, "Oh Baba, save my life." This is the meaning of remembering him with all our heart. When your life is in your hands and when you call out to him, that depth of feeling is what is required. And the messenger was very satisfied. He went home and, of course, told the whole story to the minister. And within 15 days, Adike Irani got a letter that everything had been sorted out. So the third reflection is that Baba, if you remember him from the bottom of your heart, he will respond. The unfortunate part is that we don't know. We are unable to fathom what he says. It's only in hindsight that everybody becomes intelligent and realizes what had gone through. The fourth and the last reflection is why fear death? As I said, we are all in the queue. Why fear death? And Baba, in the case of his own brother Jamshed, who passed away, and I'm sure most of you or all of you would have read what he had said, is Jamshed passed away at a very early age, and he loved Baba immensely, and Baba loved him immensely as well. And Baba says the difference between death and sleep is that after the former state, one awakens in a new body, while in the latter state, one becomes conscious of the same body. Worldly minded people do not become upset when a person goes to sleep at night simply because they expect to see him awaken alive again the next morning. Then why not exercise the same indifference when he sleeps the sleep of death, since he is bound to awaken alive sooner or later in a new body? You at times travel in a train, and other passengers, without a care in the world, depart at different stations on the way. In the same way, my brother Jamshed was traveling, and when he reached his destination, according to his ticket, he left the train, that is, he left his body. His station was nearby. But according to you, you are all wailing and crying because he has passed away in his youth. The trains go on running day and night, and numberless passengers travel in them and depart at different stations according to their tickets. How many people are you going to weep over? Thus, it is the selfishness of not being able to satisfy your minds in the absence of the sight of their dear ones that makes people weep and wail, and not so much the death itself. After the death of a person, a hue and cry is raised from all sides. My beloved father or mother is dead. The source of my life is gone. The light of my eye is dimmed. Where is my sweetheart? My support has disappeared. Such exclamations are heard in the house of death. But in spite of great display of grief and pain, my and mine, I, me and mine remain uppermost, rather than consideration for the welfare of the one who has actually passed away. What a beautiful line. Consideration for the one who has passed away. The journey continues. Even we have to go. As I said, we are also in the queue. And so Baba has explained it so beautifully. You get off the station where you have to get off. You change your clothes, you wear a new body, you move forward. It is always a going forward process. And the fourth and the last reflection is that Baba had promised Mummy in the dream way back in 1992 that when your last moment comes, I will be there with you. 28 years later, he kept that promise. He kept that promise. So never ever think that a promise given by him will never be kept. In his time, at his place, at his pleasure, the promise will be kept, but it will be kept. There's a beautiful video of Mani Auntie where she says so beautifully, one day I was sitting before Baba and I was thinking that, oh, Baba said to somebody, I promise you that this will happen. And in her mind, she's saying, but sometimes, Baba may not be able to fulfill the promise. Baba may sometimes just say to make that person feel happy. Baba checks her thoughts and says, no, I am the only one. And he does this. I am the only one in the entire universe who never breaks a promise. I am the only one in the entire universe who never breaks a promise. Never breaks a promise. So these are those 5 very powerful reflections from this entire episode. In even today, his companionship, his love, his mercy is visible, is there, is felt at every moment. The problem is that we are not ready to still receive it. As I was telling Sam last Sunday when we were talking, both of us, that we love to watch the ocean by standing on the shore. You cannot pass the ocean by, as Baba himself has said, by watching it quietly standing on the shore. You have to enter the ocean. And it is his job. It is his work. It is the only work that he has. He has no other work. We may do all kinds of jobs. His only job is to ensure that we dive deep into the ocean. And as we are drowning, he drowns us completely in his love. So we are so drenched with him that we reach the final destination. That is his only job. That is his only work. For that, he keeps coming every 700 to 1400 years. And he humors us and humors us and humors us and cajoles us, pushes us, sometimes hits us also, kicks and kisses. He does everything. He tries every trick. But the victory is always his. The meaning of the word Jai Meher Baba means victory to Meher Baba. Means when we reach the final destination, that is his true victory. That is the true meaning of the word Jai Meher Baba. Victory to him. Victory unto thee. There is a song which all of us sing so much. So these are 5 reflections. And if Sam, if I can have 5 more minutes, I would like to read a beautiful letter that Mani Aunty had written to Mummy, which is in Gujarati, and then probably conclude after that. Is that fine, Sam? Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
This is a letter which she had, and of course in last Thursday's conversation we spoke a lot about Mummy's connection with Mehra and money and Erach. And so this is a letter which is written in Gujarati. I had read it some time back as well, but I will still read it. So Mummy had written a letter to Mani Aunty in July 1988, and she must have narrated. She narrated. This is my presumption. Her experiences with Mehra, which I had described last time, where Mehra and she were blowing kisses to each other from the porch of Baba's house in Mehrazad. And she must have narrated that in the letter, and Mani Aunty was prompted to reply to that. So Mani Aunty writes, and it is in Gujarati, I will read and translate it. Avatar Meher Baba ni Jai, Mehrazad, 10th July 1988. Wali Dikri Parin, my dear daughter Parin. જિજ્ઞાસા ભર્યું તારું પત્ર વાંચી આ મહત્વ મૌનને દિવસે બે બોલ તારી પર જવાબમાં લખવાની પ્રેરણા થઈ છે. Your beautiful letter, after reading it, I am inspired to reply back to you on this great day of Avatar Meher Baba's silence. એ બી તારા શુભ કિસ્મતમાં હશે. This too, my reply to your letter was also in your great fortune. જે પ્રિયતમ બાબાના પ્રેમને મેળવવા ભાગ્યશાળી બની છે. You are so fortunate that you have become worthy of receiving beloved Baba's love. And I saw that love in her developing to such an extent that she was ready to embrace death as well, because for her life nor death did not matter, Baba mattered. And the seeds were sown over here. ને આ પ્રેમ ને જિજ્ઞાસા આપનારા મહાપ્રિયતમ જ તુને હર હંમેશા માર્ગદર્શન આપતા રહેશે. This love, the one who has given you this love will also continue to guide you on the path. સંસારી જીવનમાં જ આત્મિક માર્ગદર્શનના તક મૂકેલા છે. The way to reach the Lord is not by leaving the world. दुनियादारी छोड़ के मैं किधर बैठ जाऊं? No. The way to reach the Lord, the way to reach the final goal lies by living your life and fulfilling your responsibilities, which is beloved Baba's first wish in the my wish, 6 my wish points which are there. સંસારી જીવનમાં જ આત્મિક માર્ગદર્શનના તક મૂકેલા છે. એ દુનિયાવી ગાડીની મંઝિલ, એ દુનિયાવી ગાડીથી મંઝિલ પહોંચવાનું છે. By sitting in the car of this world, living in this world, fulfilling your responsibilities, only that will take you to your final destination. દરેક કર્તવ્ય ખુશીથી બજાવતા રહી તેના હર ફલ પૂજ્યવાલા બાબા ખુદાને અર્પણ કરતા રહેવું એ જ ઉત્તમ પૂજા છે. Fulfilling every responsibility of yours, leaving the results to beloved Baba is the greatest prayer one can ever offer to Baba. What a beautiful, powerful sentence. And I was just listening to this conversation of whether prayer should be said at 7 o'clock or 7:30 or 5:30. All this is of no meaning to me personally. Baba himself has said this. Why are we into all this? Living in this world, fulfilling your responsibilities, and offering the results of that. We all worry so much about the results. I am the worst character as far as that is concerned. Half my life has gone in worrying about what is going to happen to me. In spite of the Lord himself having promised me 28 years ago that भाई मैं तेरे साथ हूं, फिर भी ये कैसा दिमाग है देखिए. इसी को कहते हैं अड़ियल टट्टू का दिमाग. आगे बढ़ता ही नहीं, जहां वहीं का वहीं. So here she writes, again she continues, આપનું હું પણું, our ego હું, my, I, me, mine, પ્રિયતમ મેહર બાબાના નામ સ્મરણથી જ મરણ પામે છે. Our ego will die only by taking beloved Baba's name continuously. ને એવો વાલા નાથનો કાયમ સાથ મળે છે, and we continue to get his companionship constantly by taking his name. હું કોઈ જ કદાચ ગુજરાતીમાં લખું છું. She writes, sometimes only I write in Gujarati. ભૂલચૂક માફ કરજે અને સંભાળી લેજે. If I have written anything wrong, please take care of me. અતિવાલા બાબાના પ્રેમથી ભરપૂર થવા ભાગ્યશાલી બનજે. Be fortunate enough to receive more and more of his love. તેમજ તારા વાલા ધનીને બચાવ, જે એવનના પ્રેમના ખુશ ભાગીદારો છે તેઓને સાથ આપતી રહેજે. Continue to support your husband, your family, who are also equal receivers of his love. ને પ્રિયતમ બાબાને ખુશીથી દરેક કર્તવ્ય અર્પણ કરતી રહેજે. Everything that you do, offer it to beloved Baba. Kabir Sahib kahe them, and she ends the letter with a quote from Kabir. Kabir Sahib kahe them, mera mujh mein kachu nahi, jo kuch hai so tera, तेरा तुझको सौंप दिया तो क्या लगेगा मेरा. मेरा मुझ में कछु नहीं, जो कुछ है सो तेरा, तेरा तुझको सौंप दिया तो क्या लगेगा मेरा. सर्वे भली दुआ साथे लिखतन Mani Auntie, Mehrazad, 10 July 1988. And behind this letter, Mummy has made her own notes in her own handwriting, in which she says, there are two quotes of Mani Auntie which she has picked up, which she writes. I think it is from the family letters that Mani Auntie has written. One is of 7th November 1959. Don't ask Baba to always make it smooth. He never sweeps the path for those he loves. बाबा से हमेशा ये कहते मत रहिएगा कि जरा मेरा रास्ता साफ कर दीजिए, क्योंकि बाबा रास्ता कभी साफ नहीं करेंगे. But he helps us to climb obstacles which he turns into stepping stones to higher loving, giving, and being. And then another little quote from 12th of July 1960. Wherever you are, on ocean or land, this is very beautiful. Wherever you are, on ocean or land, remember Baba is holding your hand. Wherever you are, on ocean or land, remember Baba is holding your hand. Your ship may touch any shore. Your ship may touch any shore, but you are anchored at Baba's door. You are anchored at Baba's door. You are anchored at Baba's door. So that is that was the. Of course, there is one last thing which I want to say is about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, I was one day very, very depressed and upset about something. I was literally feeling very depressed. It was night time, and perhaps the force of that depression must have made me go to sleep. So I went to sleep. And in that sleep, what do I see? I see that I am standing before, I'm at our center, and I'm standing before the huge Darbar pose photograph of beloved Baba, which is the heart of our center. And I'm standing over there, I'm looking at his picture, I'm looking into his eyes, and I'm telling him, what are you intending to do with me? Please tell me this very clearly. Are you ready to help me or not? Yeah. Sam is laughing, and it is funny, but you see,
it's not funny.
it reminds us
of the regular phase we all go through, my dear friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at his eyes, and I'm saying, are you ready to help me? And Baba's eyes in the picture, he twitches his eyes like this. He says yes, and he shakes his head in that picture. And then, so if you see that picture, his hand is like this. His one hand, I think it is the right hand, that comes out of the picture frame, and there is a garland that has been put up on the picture. Baba takes out a small orange colored flower, he plucks it with that hand from that garland, and he puts it into my mouth. Then there is a big orange flower which he again plucks and starts moving that flower on my face. And I am telling him, Baba, all this is fine, but will you help me or not? And he looks at me, smiles, and says, just nods his head and says, I am with you. Just does this. And from that day onwards, I always consider that big Darbar pose photo of us as not a photo at our center, but he is present, he is there. But that is a symbolic thing. The more deeper aspect is the more deeper aspect to it is that we, no matter how much we read and talk, we fail. And Baba repeatedly assures us and reassures us and reassures us, I am with you. I am holding your hand. You have nothing to worry. I am there for you. I am your only true constant companion. If you call out to me, I will always be there. Even if you don't call out to me, I will be there. So I look upon all these experiences as his infinite patience and infinite mercy with this fool who cannot even imbibe a simple thing like being resigned to his will. And yet he keeps on assuring and reassuring. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all so fortunate, so fortunate that he has brought us and renewed our connect with him. There is no greater achievement in life than this. As I always say, Baba, may we all be worthy of receiving your grace. Thank you very much for hearing me out over the last 4 Thursdays. If there are more stories and more anecdotes to share, I'll be very happy to share over a period of time. If there is anybody wants to ask any question or anything, I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Sam, for having me and for allowing to share all these stories. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai Baba, everybody. See how great this Lord is. At the beginning of this session, I just cried out and I said, "Okay, Baba, you conduct this session today." And he did it. He's done it. I had so many things lined up, like reading out this calendar as we do in the beginning of the month, this, that, and the other, so many things. But he took over and he conducted this exactly the way he wanted to. Bikhu Sethna, Rati Sethna, they all came, they said their bit. And the final finale was with Mehernosh. He has been frank and bold enough to say the follies that we all commit. Whereas jokers like me, we quietly sit down and everybody thinks, this fellow is very great. And we are all scared of death. We are all sailing in the same boat, actually. But very few of us have the guts to come out and say it with him as the witness. And this is what made this today's session so great. Thank you, Baba. I have only Baba to thank, nobody else, because it is that same Baba that resides in Mehernosh, in Bikhu, in Rati, in Sam, and all the others, 40 listeners over here. We all have him reciting. The sentence I'd like to end with is, Baba says here, the only place that can hold me is the heart. तुम्हारे दिल में मुझे बना के रखो. Keep me close with you. मुझे तुम्हारे पास रखो. I am always there. मैं हमेशा वहां हूं. We idiots don't. We just go to him when we need him. And the rest of the time, it is I who am doing, I, me, my, all this nonsense goes on. He tolerates all our nonsense very patiently. And once in a while, he gives us a small chatka. And we get all flabbergasted and we keep running to him. And that's how he keeps us in his fold. Baba, I really don't know what would have happened to me in this life if I had not been in your fold. That much I can say. That much I can say. I don't know which cutter of Bombay Sam Patel would have brought it in. So thank you, Meher Baba. Thank you. It was, I just don't know what to say anymore. Just thank you, Baba. Tar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you, Mehernosh, for sharing your stories. It
Thank
was
you, Ram.
wonderful, listening to you. Yeah,
Thank you.
and we would like to hear, more such stories. So I'm looking
Sure,
forward to
Ram.
hear.
Baba willing, sure.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so too. Sure, he'll make you do more such stories in the future.